Good evening and welcome to the 2015 Alaska Governor's Awards for the Arts and Humanities. My name is Conarro, and I am so glad to be your host for this event tonight, where we are honoring some of our fellow Alaskans who make life in this state richer for all of us. And now we'd like to welcome the Alaska Youth Choir, directed by Missouri Smythe, to lead us in the Alaska Flag Song. Please stand. Youth Choir for that beautiful rendition and both of those verses of the Alaska Flag Song. Once again, my name is Ryan Conarro. I'm so glad to be your host tonight as we celebrate some important Alaskans in our arts and cultural community. I want to say thank you tonight to Katie Medred, who curated a playlist of Alaskan musical artists that we've been enjoying throughout the reception this evening. I also want to acknowledge our major sponsors tonight: the Office of the Governor, ConocoPhillips Alaska, and CA Alaska Corporation. So thank you to you, and please note also the other program sponsors in your program. Thank you. We have some distinguished guests with us this evening. First of all, there is you, so thank you for being here. Also, we have our own Governor Bill Walker and First Lady Donna Walker. Good evening. I also want to acknowledge and thank Lieutenant Governor Byron Malott for joining us for our pre-event reception. Unfortunately, Lieutenant Governor Malott had to take a flight to Anchorage this evening, so thank you, Lieutenant Governor Malott. Have a safe trip. Yes. And Governor Walker will be joining me in a bit to begin to give the awards. I wanted to share a few thoughts with you. I'm a theater maker and a teaching artist here in Juneau, and I'm working in a residency right now with an elementary school along with Sealaska Heritage Institute, which happens to be one of the awardees for tonight's event. That's a spoiler alert. Sealaska is going to win an award. In this residency, we're working with 4th and 5th graders on encountering traditional stories. And we looked for briefly last week at a book by an anthropologist, Robert Bringhurst, who writes about Haida storytelling. And this book was actually introduced to me a few years ago by Ishmael Hope, who's performing tonight. That's also a spoiler. Ishmael Hope is performing tonight. Hope I didn't blow that. So Robert Bringhurst writes about Haida storytelling, and he describes each traditional story in a community as a tree that's in a whole forest of other stories or a forest of ideas, or like a little bit of water in a watershed of ideas. And I think it's such a beautiful idea. And incidentally, I asked the 4th and 5th graders if they could define watershed, and one of them raised his hand and said, in Juneau, it's basically any shed is a watershed. Which is true. However, I want to commend your timing because you are here for our 1 week of winter in Juneau. Welcome to winter. Yes. So a tree within a forest of ideas, and kind of to extend that metaphor, any artistic piece is like a tree in a forest that makes and creates this place. And so in that sense, I feel like tonight we're here celebrating some great Alaskans who are like our planters or our cultivators of this landscape that make this place what it is. And I think, I imagine our awardees tonight kind of like Alaskan Johnny Appleseeds, like Leslie MATZ or Margot Class, with like an upside-down imaginary saucepan on their heads while they're directing music or painting a painting. And to me, well, I want to say if you feel like the art as tree metaphor is getting a little out of hand, you might be right. But I'm just going to keep rolling with it and see where it takes me. So I apologize. And that's another spoiler, by the way. Leslie MATZ and Margot Class will be winning awards tonight, among many others. Yes. Yes, that's right. I feel like Alaska is such a powerful place to make a life as an artist. Many of the people who will be taking the stage tonight are people who are not originally from here. I'm one of those. And we transplants, get it? Transplants? Yeah, transplants. We transplants really owe a debt of gratitude to our communities for really saying welcome, and you can make your artistic home here, and that is such a powerful thing. And then many other people who will take the stage tonight are from here, and they're like our conservators. They really know this forest, and they keep it growing, and they keep it alive. And so with that in mind, I am going to leave the art as tree metaphor, so if you didn't like it, you can relax. Now it's over. And I'm going to invite 2 of those conservators to our stage, 2 cultural artists and educators, Della Cheney and Terry Rothkar, for a special welcome. So please stand. Thank you.
Stath Kawas, Hinu Hat Keith Dikiang. Stath Kawas is my Haida name. Katsawa Yuhat Duasalk is my Tlingit name. And Delachini is my tax name. Now, the balance in lives of the Tlingit and Haida is represented today by Terry Rothkar the raven, Jaithku Tla. She's a weaver and teacher. I'm representing the Haida Eagle of the Teetskitnai clan of MATZ, British Columbia. Please join me in a blessing. Oh, I'm not finished with my introduction here. Hawa Akwan for this celebration on your homeland. And blessings to our Father's people. Achat has, Aksani has, Achlik has. Now we're ready for a blessing. Please join me. Hawa Salana, Gunachish di Kian Kao, Koyana Me. Thank you, Higher Spirit, for the inspiration in our lives that has brought us here today. Hawa for the resources that provide a beautiful way to show the artistic and spiritual ways of life that are practiced by all the recipients of the governor's awardees, using the skills practiced and achieved in their work. We know and are thankful for the commitment and intent of the artists, applying the values, respect for self, elders, and others, with the full knowledge that it releases fresh energies which attract success, achievement, and well-being for our communities. And we are very thankful for the people who recognize and appreciate the artists in our lives. Amen.
Thank you, Della Cheney and Terry Rothkar. I'd like to welcome to the stage now Ben Brown, the chair of the Alaska State Council on the Arts. Ben.
He's not giving me the cordless mic. That's a choice, I guess. Having acted with this man, I know he always makes specific choices, which is what we want in the theater, indeed in the arts, and indeed in life. So yes, Ryan's correct. I am Ben Brown. I'm a lifelong Alaskan. I have the great privilege of serving as the chairman of the Alaska State Council on the Arts. This is the second year we've been able to bring the governor's awards for the arts here to Juneau. And it's the second year we've had the governor here, so we're 2 for 2. I don't want to run out of time, but last year Governor Parnell was supposed to be out of town, but he was snowed in. Several of our awardees, I'm not jinxing us now, were snowed out. That can't happen now, right? Everyone's here, right? Darrell, right? So I can talk about this freely and maybe something will happen next year. I hope it's snow, actually, as a skier. But at any rate, this really is a magical thing, and it's very appropriate to have it here in the capital city. And that's why I worked with Shannon Doubt, who's the executive director, and our hardworking staff. And you've seen them tonight, Karen Lowell, Saunders McNeil, Andrea Noble-Pellant, and Janelle MATZ are here, and Gina Brown, of course. So a quick round of applause for the staff. We are a small state agency, and they are amazing. They give and give and give, and I am so proud to be able to work with them. And so yes, we're having a great time tonight, and it's going to get better and better, I think. Yeah, I was surprised there was no dance there, Ryan. But maybe that's going to come later. Now I'm spoiling his spoilers, so not good. So basically, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thanks to Lieutenant Governor Malott. I know he's on his way up to Anchorage right now, but that was very nice, the comments he was able to give us earlier. And thanks to all of you, especially our elected officials. There's many representatives and senators here in the House, and we could not do what we do without the support of the Alaska State Legislature. We match funds. dollar for dollar, that are given to us by the National Endowment for the Arts. And that's different than what Joan does at the Humanities Forum. I used to be on that board. In a way, it's easier. In a way, it's harder. But what we have to deal with is the fact that we have to match dollar for dollar, or it's not going to happen. Luckily, we're fortunate that Senator Murkowski, Congressman Young, and I believe newly elected Senator Dan Sullivan support the arts. They support the NEA, and they want to keep helping make all this happen. So if you run into any of them, give them a thumbs up and tell them we need the money. Right? We can't do it on our own at this point in time. So with that, I want to turn it over to our partner, because this is a collaborative event between the State Council on the Arts and the Humanities Forum. Joan BRADDOCK is a wonderful woman. I got to meet her a couple of years ago. She's a lifelong Alaskan, like myself. You should try it, Ryan. It's not bad. You can go backdate that. It's actually pretty worthwhile. She ran the University of Alaska Press for many years up in Fairbanks, and they published many wonderful books. I got to know that institution when I was on the Humanities Forum board, and now she's the interim dean of the School of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences. And if I start talking about how important that is, we'll be here all night, so I won't. Ladies and gentlemen, Joan BRADDOCK.
It's my great pleasure tonight to introduce the governor. Governor, I will tell you the things that you can Google, and then I will tell you some things that you can't Google. So the first things that you could find very easily on your phone are that Governor Walker was born in Fairbanks, yay Fairbanks. He's the son of Alaska pioneers, and he has lived in many parts of the state. He has also worked in a number of different types of jobs, working as a carpenter, teamster, and laborer on the pipeline while earning the money to go to college to get degrees in business and law. He has worked in businesses across the state, including fishing, construction, and tourism, and he has served in public office across the state, being, as I understand it, the youngest mayor of Valdez. More recently, he served as general counsel for the Alaska Gasline Port Authority. Now, the things that you might not find immediately on the web, and my sources tell me that when he was a young boy, the governor's family had a newspaper in Delta, the Walker's Weekly News, and that his job as a young boy was to staple the mimeograph pages together. More importantly, perhaps, to the humanities, I think, which is really kind of a tribute to how the written word can be really important at times of tragedy, was that his family was living in Valdez at the time of the earthquake. And immediately following the earthquake, they got back into the newspaper business and started to publish the Earthquake Bulletin to inform and to keep the spirits of the community up. And I think this is really shows the power of the humanities to draw a community together after a tragedy. So tonight is a night to celebrate the remarkable achievements of individuals and organizations who have made significant contributions in the arts and humanities. We are very pleased that Governor Walker is here tonight to present the 2015 Governor's Awards in the Arts and Humanities. Governor Bill Walker.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. What an honor it is to be here tonight. I want to first introduce my First Lady of 37 years, your Alaska's First Lady, Donna Walker. You know, interesting the way Byron Malott and I first got together. Our first thing we did together was on stage and we sang a song. We've not been asked back since then, but it took place at AFN in Fairbanks. And the last night of the event at AFN, we were on the floor of the Carlson Center, and Byron had his campaign table, and I had mine, and Byron was asked to come up on stage. If they raised a certain amount of money, would he come up and sing a song? And he said sure. And they raised the money, and on his way up to the stage, he came over to me. He said, "I'd be honored if you would join me on stage." I thought, wow, he's not very good at this political stuff either. We're not supposed to, you know, because you don't normally invite the guy you're running against to join you on stage. I got on stage, he took the microphone, he said, "I want you to meet a friend of mine, Bill Walker." I was so touched by that. And then after that, when I was out on the campaign trail by myself, I would tell that story. And my team said, you know, Bill, you shouldn't be telling those kind of stories about the guy you're running against, about what a great guy he is. I said, but he did it. He did it. So we went on stage and we sang a song. It was You Are My Sunshine. And and at the last AFN, we noticed that they didn't include us coming back on stage for a second time. So that was our probably our one and only singing on stage. But that was fun. That was really enjoyable. And we've been making music ever since, in one way or the other. And you know, the arts is such an important part of our state. 30 years in Valdez, the Valdez Arts Council was a big highlight for us, because many times that was our source of an opportunity for a concert to come to town or for a play to come to town. We had the theater conference, and you know, what I say is that, you know, oil may put money in the bank and heat our homes, but the arts is what really warms our heart, and that's what's so important about in this state. You know, you can turn a cloudy days into a sunny day through the arts, and we do sometimes have cloudy days around the state occasionally and whatnot. We are so honored to live in Juneau. We are enjoying it immensely. I feel a little bit responsible for contributing to the arts in Juneau, because there was one commissioner that I hired. I happen to know he was a really good guitar player. His wife is a musician as well. So I absolutely insisted that they move to Juneau to add to the. And one of the ways I sold Juneau, like Juneau doesn't need to be sold, but I said they have an incredible group of arts that's very alive and well in Juneau. You're just going to love it here. And he did a little bit of work on the internet. He came back. He says, "You're right." And so you're going to have two more musicians in Juneau here in a bit when they move here. So anyway, I like to feel like I've contributed in some way to the arts effort in this community. I am so honored to be able to be part of this presentation. I'll look forward to next year as well, and I look forward to a wonderful evening. Again, congratulations to all those awardees that have worked hard to receive the awards. I'm so honored that it makes it look like I'm more involved with the governor's award than it wasn't that I earned that, but I just feel a little bit very fortunate to be this much involved in this, based upon my one time on stage with Byron and we sang "You Are My Sunshine." So I'd say we did pretty doggone good with singing only one song, and here we are tonight. So anyway, that was our single performance. But thank you very much. I look forward to a wonderful evening, and thank you, Ryan. On with the show.
Thank you so much, Governor Walker. We also want to extend a very important and special thanks to the boards of the Alaska State Council on the Arts and the Alaska Humanities Forum, who make this event and so much in the arts and humanities all year round happen for us in this state. So thank you, board members. So, the Governor's Awards. These awards this year were created by Fairbanks artist Annie Duffy. And these awards, yes! These awards are a series called Winter Ravens. These are 8 sculptures made of cast paper, ink, and acrylic. And Annie Duffy is here tonight. Annie, would you please stand? There's Annie. Congratulations, and thank you for your work creating these awards. We're about to begin. The awardees' bios are in your program, and I'll kind of take a cue from Joan Braddock and say there's like the Googleable information, and then there's the not Googleable information. So the Googleable information is in your program, and I might mention 1 or 2 of those items. But we also asked our awardees a few more detailed questions, if you will. Some questions, for example, like, what's your favorite cold thing? Or what's your favorite hard thing? Or if you could have an affair with a piece of literature, which one would it be? So I'm going to be sharing just a few of those with you so we can get like a fuller human picture of who these amazing people are. And I also want to mention one more thing. There are many amazing, very impressive, truly impressive letters and titles that many of these people share in addition to their experiences and works. And so sort of as a rule tonight, I'm just going to share the awardees' names and omit the doctors and the PhDs, et cetera, for fear of leaving something out that I don't want to. So here we go. The first Governor's Award for tonight is a 2014 award for someone who was fogged out of last year's ceremony. This is an award for the Distinguished Service to the Humanities. This awardee is Special Exhibits Curator at the Anchorage Museum. His first memory of the arts impacting him was when he was 6 years old, hearing dinosaurs roaring at the Anchorage Museum. His first rock concert was at Sullivan Arena in 1996 when he heard Green Day. In my opinion, a Green Day concert today would also be like dinosaurs roaring in a museum. His favorite inanimate object right now is his tea mug, which I love that one, so I wanted to include it because I share the same love right now. I mean, not for your tea mug, Aaron, but for my own. You get me? So, the Governor's Award for Distinguished Service to the Humanities goes to Aaron Leggett. Aaron.
I've worked hard for that, right? Yali Atlanda Shishida Aaron Leggett Gashtanak, Shi Chu Chara Danainak, Shi Nolchina Atlan, Chu Idlagat Shkayachti. Hello, everybody, again. My name is Aaron Leggett. And what I'd like to say tonight is for me, winning this award really isn't about me. It's about all the people that have supported and assisted me over the last 15 years. And unfortunately, I won't be able to thank them all. But there are a few that I want to specifically talk about and thank this evening. I'd first like to thank my wife, Cheyenne Beatty, who is quite literally my #1 supporter and has always stood up for me. She also loves you, Governor Walker, too. I would also like to thank my parents, Rick Leggett and Diane Bowles, who have helped shape the person that I am today. And next, I would like to thank a number of women who have always been a huge influence on me and in some cases have literally made it possible for me to do the work that I do. First and foremost is Gloria O'Neill, the president of Cook and the Tribal Council, who has always supported the work that I do, both financially and symbolically. Next, I would like to thank my former boss, AJ Alexandra McClanahan, who was adamant that I needed to tell my story and the story of my people, the Dena'ina. And the last woman I want to mention is Claire Swan, the chair of the Cook and the Tribal Council. Claire was the first Dena'ina that I ever met who so succinctly put it when she described our people as the invisible people, invisible to newcomers and to ourselves. Claire has dedicated a major portion of her life to helping to change that, and the first time that I heard that, I knew I wanted to dedicate my life to helping to change that as well. And the last person I would like to thank this evening is our Lieutenant Governor, Byron Mallott. 11 years ago, when Byron was the head of the First Alaskans Institute, Byron contacted AJ and I, when we were both at CIRI, about helping him write about the Dena'ina in conjunction with a mayor's conference that he was asked to speak at that was occurring in Anchorage. Byron allowed me to get up there and address the crowd as well and say a few words about my people. As a result of that speech and the articles that appeared in the Anchorage Daily News, many people in Anchorage's eyes were opened to the fact that we are the original inhabitants of Anchorage. And 2 years later, when we Dena'ina testified for what the name for the new Civic and Convention Center could be, it's because of that we were able to be successful. Again, I apologize for not being able to thank more people this evening, but I do want to thank the Ak Kwan, for allowing me to speak on their traditional homeland. Juneau, thank you, and Denina.
Thank you, and congratulations, Aaron. Our first 2015 Arts Award is for Arts Education. This awardee is the Fine Arts Department Chair at Diamond High School in Anchorage, has served 30 years as a visual art teacher in the Anchorage School District, also as a mentor for the UAA and UAF Art Educators programs. The art experience that he first remembers as a kid is a foam core version of Picasso's Guernica, which he describes as fear, hate, and hope all in one. His favorite hard thing, he says, is climbing, and his favorite cold thing, he says, is, quote, snow, baby. And the thing that makes him tired just thinking about it, the school budget. The Governor's Award for Arts Education goes to Leslie MATZ.
In a couple of months, all of our students are going to sit down and take exams. And there are a lot of people out there that are really hoping for better results. It's a dream we Americans have all been chasing for a long, long time. I can tell you pretty much how they're going to turn out. They're going to turn out with medium results because we educate everybody. If you go back to the beginning of education in the United States, Ben Franklin, who was instrumental in starting the first academy for our nation, decided that all of our students, and this was something like a high school at the time, all of the students had to take reading, writing, arithmetic, oration, and a drawing class. Because people were not buying American products. And today we have one of the strongest economic engines in the world, so it must have worked, right? So when Jim Browder came to Anchorage School District, his short-lived tenure, one of the best things I ever heard him say, you know, he cut $23 million from our budget that year, and he said, "We can get him to school, but it's the arts that keep him here." So I'd ask, do we need the arts to survive? And the answer is no, but I wouldn't call that living.
Congratulations, Leslie. Next, we have the 2015 Award for Distinguished Service to the Humanities. This awardee is the director of the University of Alaska Museum of the North in Fairbanks. She's written 8 books on Northwest Coast Native art. She says that in 2009 to 12, she enjoyed a, quote, brief interlude of retirement. If she could wear a piece of music, she says she'd wear the drinking song from La Traviata. So I actually looked that up last night to find out what that was, and it's a pretty cool song. I think it'd be a great thing to wear. She says if she could have an affair with a piece of literature, she would have an affair with Moby Dick. I did not look that one up last night. One of her favorite quotations is from Candide, who said, "In the best of all possible worlds, everything is for the best." The Governor's Award for Distinguished Service to the Humanities goes to Aldona Jonitis.
Thank you so much. This is an amazing honor. I just am astonished. 22 years ago, I came for an interview in Fairbanks. I was, at that point, the vice president of the American Museum of Natural History in New York, which is a pretty big, impressive place. New York is a pretty big, impressive place, too. And when I said, I'm going to Fairbanks, and my friends said, oh, come on, don't you really think you are going to miss culture? And I said, you don't even know. You don't know what it's like. I am the luckiest person in the world. I really am. I work for good things. I work for art, education, science, creativity. Everything I do is for the good. That makes it such a wonderful thing. Cultural understanding is another thing that has been incredibly important to me for my entire life. There are many people I'd like to thank. What I think my skill is getting things organized and creating teams that create much, much more important and wonderful things. So for the Museum of the North in Fairbanks, there were artists and scientists and educators and, of course, the supporters and the university and the state. It all worked together, and I am so grateful that I had such amazing people to work with. Then, as a scholar, my most important thanks is to the indigenous artists of the Northwest Coast who have made what I think is one of the world's great art traditions. And it is such a delight to be able to try to share what they created with the world. So I thank you very, very much.
Congratulations. Our next event is a performance from the Momentum Dance Collective. This is an Anchorage-based dance company. This piece is part of a larger work that will premiere this April in Anchorage. So, the Momentum Dance Collective. Thank you, Momentum Dance Collective. Thank you very much. Our next award is the 2015 Governor's Award for Individual Artist. This artist makes her home in Fairbanks. She has enjoyed a 25-year career teaching art and art history, and she is now a full-time artist. She's enjoyed solo and group shows across the state. She says her favorite cold thing is Alaskan snow. Not just snow, but Alaskan snow. The thing that makes her tired just thinking about it is battling the parking lot at Fred's, which I experienced last night because I went there to buy this shirt. A favorite quotation, which might be a new favorite one for me too, is from Pablo Picasso, and the quotation is, "Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working." The Governor's Award for Individual Artist goes to Margot Class.
So much of my work is about solitude, and like most artists, I work alone in my studio most of the time. But at this very moment, tonight, I am not alone. And I'd like for you to imagine with me some people here on the stage to accompany me. First and foremost, my Alaskan friends, and my Alaskan friends become mentors. They welcomed me to Alaska, they showed me the ways, and I think of them as my pillars of strength, and they are. Also, think of the galleries, the arts associations, the museums. They have welcomed me and offered generous opportunities to show my work. And along with them are all the people that are behind the scenes, the curators, the installers, the designers, the writers. An art exhibition does not exist without them. They are here too. And I cannot forget the incredible Rasmussen Foundation and the Alaska Arts Council. They have supported and encouraged me at very critical moments in my way. They are here. Also, I would like to have my students here. I've been lucky to work with wonderful students in Alaska, and they don't even know how much I learned from them. And I can't be here without them, actually. And also, I would not forget my family and my dear friends back in Washington, D.C., who said to me, "You are not moving to Alaska, are you?" Anyway, they have come to accept it, and they are here. And last but not least, the reason why I did come to Alaska, my husband, the wonderful Frank Sos. On behalf of all of us here, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Margot. Our next award is for Distinguished Service to the Humanities. This award goes to the President and CEO of the Alaska Native Heritage Center in Anchorage. She's also the chair of the Alaska Native Language and Preservation and Advisory Council. Her first concert was hearing Bon Jovi in the mid-'80s in Anchorage. That's awesome. If she could wear a piece of music, she says she'd wear anything by the Bangles. It took me a while, but I got it. She says her favorite hard thing is runts, which I completely agree with, except for the banana-flavored ones. And her favorite quotation, "Respect your elders. They are the ones who will teach you what you need to know." The 2015 Governor's Award for Distinguished Service to the Humanities goes to Annette Evans Smith.
Zannazun, Nethloch Nithlos Uze, de Hun Gizaka Hashta, Annette Evans Smith Seasney. Ina A. Carol Evans Beuze. Ita A. Richard Evans Beuze. Qena Tamachpaji Dauti, Huinga Bijarea Goa, Kunuyang Arugut Atapkoyamchi. I am profoundly and humbly grateful to accept this award. This award carries with it all of my hopes and my expectations for our future as Alaska Native people. The effects of our decisions that we make now are everlasting, and they are eternal. So now is the time to make the right decisions. Years ago, my grandmother gave me a pair of gloves. They were her gloves. And while worn, my grandmother's gloves symbolized what she wanted for me in my life and my future. And she wanted me to wear her gloves. I would like to thank my champions who have supported me and who have stood beside me. They are Al Adams, Diane Kaplan, Gail Schubert. They are Catherine Gottlieb, Jeff Kinnevac, Aaron Shutt, many board members. I'd like to thank the governor and the lieutenant governor for supporting the arts and supporting our life's work. I would like to especially thank the Alaska Native Language Preservation and Advisory Council, who is here with me tonight. Dolores Churchill, Waki Charles, Bernadette Yayuk Elvavana Stimfel, Representative Benjamin Nariak, and at home, April Lactonin Counselor. Together we share a work which is preserving the DNA of Alaska. Our languages are our DNA. And they are a link that extends us 10,000 years into our past and 10,000 years into our future. They are our most precious and renewable resource. I would like to thank my family for always standing beside me, my family both here and afar. I couldn't be here without all of your support. Quyana.
Congratulations. It's now time for the literary portion of our evening. I'd like to invite onto the stage Representative Sam Keto III, Senator Dennis Egan, Representative Kathy Munoz, and Nora Marks Dauenhauer for a special citation recognizing former State Writer Laureate Richard Dauenhauer. And while you guys come to the stage, I just want to recognize also the recipients of the 2014 Literary Awards. These writers, the recipients of the 2014 Literary Awards, were selected from a pool of nearly 100 applicants, and they'll each receive $5,000 fellowships. The winners are Ernestine Hayes from Juneau for mixed genre writing, Erin Hollowell from Homer for poetry, Joan Kane from Anchorage for poetry, Susanna Mishler from Anchorage for poetry, and Frank Sos from Fairbanks for fiction and essays. And Ernestine and Frank are here with us tonight, so if you'd please stand so we can acknowledge you. Congratulations. Yes, congratulations. Also, special thanks for these awards goes to Joe Usabelli and Peggy Shoemaker, whose endowment makes this program possible. And now, Representative Sam Keto, thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of the Juneau delegation, Senator Dennis Egan, Representative Kathy Munoz, and myself, we are very honored to present this citation in honor of Dick Dauenhauer. I would take a few minutes to read the citation. The 29th Alaska Legislature joins the family and friends of Richard Dauenhauer in celebrating his life and his love for language, literature, and family. Dr. Dauenhauer was a professor, noted linguist, and poet laureate for Alaska, born in Syracuse, New York in 1942. He He was a world traveler and a lifelong learner, earning degrees in Slavic languages, Russian, and comparative literature. Richard and his wife of 41 years, Nora Marks Dauenhauer, spent most of their lives dedicated to the preservation and revitalization of the Tlingit language and culture. Richard was adopted by his father-in-law, Willie Marks, into the Chukchanadi clan, Brown Bear House in Hoonah, and his Tlingit name is Squawkadinak, and I apologize for the mispronunciation. Richard earned his doctorate in comparative literature from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 1975, with his dissertation titled Text and Context of Tlingit Oral Tradition. He worked as a program director at Sealaska Heritage Foundation from 1983 to 1997, and was a professor of the University of Alaska Southeast until his retirement in 2001. Richard's concern for the survival of the Tlingit language gave impetus to the establishment of the Tlingit language program at the University of Alaska Southeast. While at Sealaska Heritage Foundation, he and Nora collaborated for several years on taped recordings of the translations collected from Tlingit elders in the 1970s and earlier, even recordings from the early 1900s. Richard loved being part of the Russian Orthodox faith and enjoyed its theology, liturgical music, and feasts. He served his church tirelessly as a lector, as a chanter, and provided endless support to its members. All who knew him were recipients of his humor, compassion, and generosity, and great postcards from the Dauenhauers whenever they traveled. Richard passed away peacefully on August 19, 2014, at Bartlett Hospital in Juneau, following a brief illness. Family and friends were at his bedside. Richard was preceded in death by his parents, Leonard and Jane Dauenhauer, and he's survived by his wife Nora, brother Tom Dauenhauer, and his wife Sarah, nieces Christine, Kathleen, Hannah of New York and New Jersey, and numerous other extended Dauenhauer family members. His Alaska family includes Nora's children, Lee Florendo, Carmela Ranson, Lorenzo Florendo, and Adela Florendo, 12 grandchildren, 18 grandchildren, an extended family in New York, Washington, Idaho, California, Nevada, and Hawaii. He was a godfather to many, including Katrina Hele, Daniel Blakely, and Jeremy Strong. The members of the 29th Alaska Legislature take pride in honoring his life and work. He was a warrior for Alaska Native languages, literature, and knowledge, and will be greatly missed. His legacy lives on through his family, his students, and the incredible collection of publications that stand in his imprint. Gonoshish.
Richard would have enjoyed the honor that was given him tonight. Thank you for Richard. I do mine too. Okay. I'm going to read a poem written by me, but edited by Dick. The title of it is salmon egg puller. Before I got into writing, I used to go to the canneries and with my friends, and we'd stay there and work in the canneries. And the salmon egg puller is when we take the eggs of the salmon as the machine was moving. So I spent most of my time doing this at Excursion Inlet. It wasn't all work, but we also had a lot of fun. Takes too long to talk about it, so I'll just go ahead and read the poem. Salmon egg puller, $2.15 an hour. You learn to dance with machines, keep time with the header, swing your arms, reach inside the salmon cavity with your left hand where the head was. Grab lightly top of egg sac with fingers. Pull gently but quick. Reach in immediately right after for the lower egg sac. Pull this gently. Slide them into a chute to catch the eggs. Reach into the next salmon. Do this 4 hours in the morning with coffee, 15-minute coffee break. Go home for lunch, attend to kids and feed them. Work 4 hours in the afternoon with 15-minute coffee break. Go home for dinner, attend to the kids and feed them. Go back for 2 more hours, 4 more hours. Reach, pull gently. Go home for the day, attend to kids who missed you. Then when fingers start swelling, soak them in Epsom salts. If you don't have time, stand under the shower with your hands up under the spray. Get to bed early if you can. Next morning, if your fingers are sore, start dancing immediately. The pain will go away after icy fish and eggs. Thank you.
Governor Walker is going to come shake your hand over there. He'll come now.
Okay.
Yes. Before we let Nora go, I'd like to ask Governor Walker to come thank Nora and acknowledge her for her service.
If you'll take a moment with the governor.
We want to thank Nora Marks Dauenhauer for her service as the 2012 to 14 Alaska State Writer Laureate. Thank you, Nora.
Okay.
I go down now.
We're now going to honor our new State Writer Laureate. Thank you, Governor. The Writer Laureate program recognizes the commitment and the passion of one writer every 2 years. It's the only program of its kind in the US because it's for all genres of writing. And the Writer Laureate provides workshops, lectures, and readings funded by the State Arts Council. Our new Writer Laureate is Professor Emeritus at UAF. He has published award-winning short fiction collections, and he's engaged in also several collaborations with artists in other genres, including Margot Class. This is a really cool night for you too. Speaking of Margot Class, his favorite Alaskan writer is Margot Class. He's not biased. The inanimate object he says he's in love with right now are his restored bamboo fly rods, or his Bob Jackson road bike, or his skis. He says, in other words, his toys, which he calls the tools for seeking the ideas he writes about. Governor Walker, I'd like you to invite you to the stage to welcome our 2015 Alaska State Writer Laureate, Frank Sos.
Thank you. This is indeed a signal honor. I'd like to say first that I was lucky enough to hear Nora and Richard Danauer read in Fairbanks the last time they were there. It was a wonderful and memorable reading. I feel like I'm following on the heels of greatness, and I'm just going to have to do my best to measure up here. As you know, the State Writer is a 2-year commitment, and Phase 1 is this nice ceremony. Phase 2 is the expectation that I go throughout the state and promote Alaska writers and writing wherever I can go. If you're interested in having me come and promote in your village or town, not to talk about me, but to talk about everybody else, I'll gladly do that, because I hope everybody in this room understands we are in the flowering of a tremendous Alaskan writing moment. When I came here almost 30 years ago, this is what I hoped for. And I think we're here. I better thank my wife, Margot. I can be difficult to put up with at times. I feel like there is an expectation that I read a little something. I'm going to read 3 very short pieces. You can think of these as additional hors d'oeuvres to go with the wonderful ones we've had already. They come from a series of the world's 100 best ideas. I got a piece of junk mail some years ago advertising these ideas. They were things like rules of law, representative democracy. I thought I could do better. So I began my own list. It has taken me a number of years to do this list, and they range from the profound to the less than profound. So bear with me. Our first big idea, cooking. Whatever low opinions humans have of Neanderthals stand in some revision. Neanderthals cooked. I tell Margot this after we have eaten the underdone chicken, picturing not a domesticated chicken, but some near relative, a spruce grouse maybe, a dumb, lazy bird, easily caught and stuck on a spit over the fire, maybe singeing the feathers off as it cooked. You would probably eat that, she tells me. In a world where desire for food was so urgent and immediate, I think, who had time for niceties? Yes, I would eat that. Really, it's too late for asking. Bone gnawer, eater of black bananas and leftovers of indeterminate age, I prefer my steaks bloody and willing to come only this far, the edge of civilized dining. They say, too, people made it with Neanderthals. Milk. I was a formula baby, fed on a schedule and never enough. I was a hungry baby and grew to be a hungry man. Hungry for what? The same things we all hunger for, I suppose. Fulsome warmth, quietude, comfort, a kind word, for more. And lastly, brownie sundae. With chocolate ice cream or plain vanilla, a choice some might judge to lie between excess or wretched excess. Maybe tabbouleh instead. Not a brownie, rather a slab of tofu. Hot fudge doused over top. Try quinoa. It's a legume, very healthy, natural, and organic too. We're all going to die. Add whipped cream and a maraschino cherry on top. Thank you.
I want to say I made a little mistake. In our rehearsal this afternoon, as we were preparing this, I learned that the Writer Laureate does not receive his award until his service is finished. So Frank, we're going to look for you in 2 years for this moment, but I overlooked giving Nora Marks Dauenhauer her award, so I want to give her this award now. Congratulations again, Nora. So we're going to have a little bit of an award juggling moment here, because we're not using that one yet, or that one, or that one. You can leave those there. We're not doing an award right now. And is my tie straight? Yeah. Okay. They said my tie was straight. Is it really straight? Yeah. Okay. So you can take a step off stage, because our next event, and I'm going to as well. So, okay. Go ahead. Okay. We got this. That goes there. And our next moment is an art piece, an excerpt from Never Alone. This is a video game featuring Inupiaq language and culture. It's funded by the Cook Inlet Tribal Council, and it's narrated for us tonight by storyteller and one of the writers of the game, Ishmael Angaluk Hope.
I feel so good to be looking among everyone here. And I just wanted to say, congratulations to all of the awardees and to the just amazing and wonderful presentations. But I did want to say it's so special to be among Nora Dauenhauer. She wraps her heart, she wraps all of us into her heart with her knowledge, with her wisdom, and with her love. It's very special that we saw that. We were able to witness that this evening. Just wonderful. And it was special, yes. It was very special to be part of this video game, Never Alone. Kisima Inget Chuna. It's a special collaboration between Cook Inlet Tribal Council and Eline Media in Seattle, where it's the first Indigenous-owned video game. Indigenous-owned video game company, where we highlight and feature our elders' voices, such as Robert Nazaruk Cleveland, the storyteller of Quinuk Sayuka. That's the main thread of the story in the video game. But I would like to ask Pitta Benz, who is the executive producer in Never Alone, from Cook Inlet Tribal Council, for her to say a few words about the game.
Hi, I'm Pitta Benz from Cook Inlet Tribal Council. This was a really exciting project to work on. It took us 3 years. As all you artists know, it's hard, messy work, but we're really excited with where we ended up. Never Alone is based on traditional Alaska Native stories. The narration is in Inupiaq. This game is being sold worldwide, and it has subtitles in 10 different languages. And at CITC, one of the things that we've liked about video games is it's really a modern iteration of the oral tradition. So I hope that you'll like this clip from Never Alone and hopefully go out and buy it.
Taimanga kanga kuliak tua rugut kanik sila lugi kingunip tiknun kuliak tua ta kangik sipkaruga igluguk sia lunam suli kanuk inyu nikput ilwani Aglan suksravut utukat kuliak tuan algot srutat takkamna awak tuaru taungit man tamna sivunirliru uminga piora liakturu Katik srugu kuvisu cekap tuanik inugnik inula ikayu teksramik pekahuni alaginin inyusinin aglan sibungkat atikrak kanik taos raw kap tugut asin Tamna ilingnun abektua laksirek Ayana Filchish
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm very excited we got to see that tonight. Our next award is the Governor's Award for Arts Organization. This award goes to Sitka Fine Arts Camp. Yes. The person accepting this award is the fearless leader of the camp and also happens to be a product of the camp. He's received numerous awards for his own work as an artist and educator and also on behalf of the camp. His first rock concert was the Sitka Fine Arts Camp student rock concert. And I've also been to a couple of Sitka Fine Arts Camp student rock concerts, and I will tell you that Green Day cannot hold a candle to those students. We asked him about having an affair with a piece of literature, and he pointed out that with literature you can have more than one, so why choose? I like it. We asked him what object is he most in love with right now, and he answered, the world. Accepting the Governor's Award for Arts Organization on behalf of Sitka Fine Arts Camp is its director, Roger Schmidt.
I usually wing it when I talk, but not tonight. Thank you. I'm extremely proud of the staff of the Sitka Fine Arts Camp, our board, our families, friends, and our students who support the program. I want to thank my program director, Kenley Jackson, who's in attendance tonight. She has worked alongside me for 7 years building our program. Once we had an office the size of this podium that we shared. I want to honor our volunteers and supporters who've put in over 40,000 volunteer hours and given several $1 million of support over the last 4 years, saving the former Sheldon Jackson campus so that it could continue as an educational site. Last summer, over 700 students participated in our summer camps. Currently, over 150 students come to our campus each week to participate in our after-school arts programs, taking classes in visual arts, dance, theater, music, writing. I feel an extreme sense of gratitude and humility for the support of our program and for the passion our students feel for the Sitka Fine Arts Camp. I would like to share words from one of our students who comes from a small community of less than 200 people. Quote, "This was my first time going anywhere further than Anchorage. I arrived at camp as a shy, timid girl who was in and out of foster care, and I didn't know anybody within a 2,000-mile radius. In reality, I was about to have the best experience in my entire living. Peers from camp came up to me and talked to me, interested in where I was from. I got to know my counselors and their stories and artistic backgrounds, which were similar to mine, and suddenly, I didn't feel so alone, but welcomed like family." All the classes were hand-on learning experiences with no judgment, a different show every night by talented performers who actually cared about the students. On the finals, I did something I never thought I'd do. I performed in front of hundreds of people my song, and I cried knowing that everything I've worked for in my whole life was noticed and appreciated. End quote. Being part of the arts and using arts as a force to help us realize our potential as humans is the best reward of all. Thank you.
Congratulations, Roger. Our next award is for Distinguished Service to the Humanities. This award goes to our former Alaska Attorney General, who is now the director of MATZ College and a longtime professor of history there. We asked our awardees the first time the power of the arts hit them, and we encouraged them to write haikus and answer, and this awardee took that challenge. Here we go. Emerson was when high school became more than cold, dateless Palmer nights. It's so beautiful and so sad all at once. His favorite cold thing is frozen blueberries, and we asked him the first rock concert he ever attended, and he said, "This event has not yet occurred." The award for Distinguished Service to the Humanities is Talis Kohlberg.
Thank you so much. 50 years ago, I had the pleasure of living in Angoon, Alaska, and I encountered one of the first humanities exercises I had ever experienced under the leadership of my pastor, Dr. Walter Soboleff. He told a story of two frogs who fell into a pail of milk. The first, they couldn't get out. The first frog swam around for a while, gave up, and drowned. The second frog persisted and worked so hard he turned the milk into butter and hopped out. That became important 15 years later when I left Palmer to go to study law in London. The first two things I noticed in London were first a recruiting poster for the French Foreign Legion. The second thing I noticed was a beautiful woman. 4 months later, I was proposing to her under the bright London moon by Hyde Park's Serpentine Lake. I'd bought a ring to put the pressure on her. She said, "It's too important a decision to say yes or no right now. Could I try the ring?" I said, "If you can't give me a yes or no answer, you can't try the ring," and I threw it in the lake. That's not the last mistake I've made in life. I flew back to California, and then I decided I've got to be the second frog. 5 days later, I flew back to London And my plan was if she said no, I would join the Foreign Legion. Well, I'm here today. There's two possible interpretations of that story. One is persistence gets you the girl, or if you just survive long enough, wonderful things will happen to you when people give you a fantastic award like this. Governor Walker, Mrs. Walker, arts and humanities leaders, distinguished Alaskans, I am so grateful for this award and that you chose to give it to me literally on the 33rd anniversary of the wedding that resulted from her finally saying yes. And finally, my dear, I'm so glad that I can be here with you tonight to receive this award rather than being in some remote desert fortress of the French Foreign Legion, wondering why I was the first frog in Dr. Sobolov's story. Thank you so much.
Next, for our next performance, we would like to welcome to the stage Christy NaMee Eriksen, a spoken word artist based here in Juneau, and she's the co-founder of Woosh Kinadei, a Juneau-based poetry slam here. She's joined on guitar by Ziggy Unzicker. Christy and Ziggy, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm honored to have been asked to perform a poem, and I'm going to be doing a poem called You Bring Out the Korean Adoptee in Me, after Sandra Cisneros' You Bring Out the Mexican in Me. Also, how lovely is my accompaniment, the incomparable Ziggy Unzicker. You bring out the Korean adoptee in me, the snowdrift eyelids, the unripe peach arms, the knee-jerk kisses I take and save for rainy days. You know, you bring out the red button heart in me, the flashcard Korean nouns in me, the message in a bottle, but the bottle broke. Fancy chopsticks. The 5-year-old Asian bob with perfectly curled bangs in me. All my pink dresses, every laced hem, every inch of frill, every warm white tight in me. You bring out the tacky bling in my iris. You bring out the frozen stir-fried vegetables and soy sauce in me. 4-inch, no 2-inch heels, so I still look good and you still look tall in me. The 4th Killian and sloppy secrets in me. The dance revolution in me. You bring out the airplane in me. The flame start turbine jet stream flight in me. The Pacific in tablespoons in me. The quake of migration, the tsunami of children, our mother's treasure chest memories sunk into the bottom of their throats. The family tree with ghost branches. The hum of trains pumping below the pavement skin. The hum of one woman singing Arirang into the dusk room of 21 babies not her own, lives paused on lullabies. I want to sing this song for you. Roll my Korean adoptee tongue into quarter notes on your lips. I want to make you failed Asian recipes and steamed rice out of my 20-pound bag I will never finish. I want to tie toenated hanboks loose on our long-lost bodies. take photos of how Korean we are some days. The Korean adoptee in me, I'm always looking for someone to save me. You, broken history, you, Bogogi smile, you, half cigarette and sunglasses on the flat roof of a soul building. You, come here, let me un-Levi, un-American ego you. Let me play your fingertips like a grand piano. Spread our palms out like last flimsy pieces of a 200,000 piece puzzle, and you can have mine. Breaths upon my chest, your midnight hair in my full moon hands. And not the language we lost or the language we were given has a word for this. This tear-streaked love, this yin-yang heartbeat beneath your cheek.
Beautiful. Thank you. Our next award for tonight is for Alaska Native Arts. This award goes to the Sealaska Heritage Institute. The person accepting this award is the president of the Institute. The Institute has several initiatives going on right now, including, but not limited at all, to the opening of the new Walter Sobolev Center in downtown Juneau this year. Yes. And a new multi-year education program in traditional stories in the Juneau School District and to be disseminated beyond throughout Southeast Alaska. Again, accepting the Governor's Award for the Alaska Native Arts on behalf of Sealaska Heritage Institute is its president, Rosita Whirl.
I got my knee operated on so I could go skiing with my grandson. And wouldn't you know, no snow. This morning I had an opportunity to speak to the Innovation Summit. And I opened my address by saying that Tlinkits are well known for their oratory, their speech making, and their very, very, very long speech making. And I think others must have heard about that because I was told I could have 2 minutes this morning and then today. And then I was reminded when the governor, during his inauguration, that we had one of our most gifted orators, a clan leader, King David Katzig speaking. And everybody was calling me, Rosita, Rosita, can you make him just keep to 3 minutes? He actually had 5, and I told him he had 3, and he did a great job. But I do want you, I'd like to invite you sometime to some of our ceremonies where you could hear some of our traditional Tlingit oratory, because I think this is an art form that unfortunately only a few are privileged to hear. But maybe sometime through the works of Ishmael and others, we'll be able to have those kind of things that are public. Governor Walker and First Lady, thank you, noble people of Alaska. Thank you for honoring the arts. Thank you for supporting the arts. We are deeply honored that the arts of our ancestors are recognized and appreciated today. There was a period when it seemed as if our arts and our culture would cease to exist. Although our art forms were recognized as among the greatest achievements of the world's art and artists, and were voraciously collected by national and international museums and collectors, the underlying beliefs that gave rise to our arts were viewed as paganistic and sometimes despised and suppressed. Fortunately, those views have changed, and today we can celebrate the survival of our arts and culture. The Sealaska Heritage Mission has been to perpetuate and enhance the Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian culture and arts. However, from our history, we found that it is also necessary for the greater society to understand our arts and culture, for them to survive and flourish. Today, the Sealaska Heritage Institute has added another goal, and that is to promote and support cultural diversity and cross-cultural understanding. Thank you all to those who have recognized the work of Sealaska Heritage Institute and made this award possible. The award arises from the works of our ancestors who developed our arts through the millennia, from the historical leaders who advocated for our cultural survival, from the support that we've received from Sealaska, the state of Alaska, the city of Juneau, generous donors such as the Rasmussen Foundation. SHI is also fortunate in having a dedicated team, and I want to recognize the former and current staff who are here and who have helped to make this award possible. If they are here now, would they please stand as I call their name? First, our Board of Trustees, chaired by Marlene Johnson, and I know she's not able to be with us tonight, and also Joe Nelson. I don't know if you're out there, Joe, but Joe is also the chair of our Sealaska Corporation Board of Directors. Our Native Artists Committee, and I do see we have one member here, Dolores Churchill. Dolores. Our first art director who established our art department, Rico Thanat Whirl. Our current art director, Kari Groven. I stole her from Jack. Kathy Dye, our media director. Christy NaMee, who coordinated our first and most successful Tana auction. Christy. Chuck Smythe, our culture and history director, and Lee Kadinger, our COO. We have others in our staff who are not here today, but whose work in the arts have been invaluable and whom I would like to acknowledge. Donald Gregory, Carmelita Estrada, Sarah Dibdahl. May we also offer our congratulations to our fellow awardees and also our love to Keichne, our most noble and honorable beloved Nora Downhauer. Again, may I thank you. May I thank you for this great, great honor. Darn, I won't be able to go out there and walk. It's my first chance of walking on a stage, and I've missed that opportunity. So.
Thank you very much, Dr. Whirl. Our final award. Our final award this evening, last but not least, Distinguished Service to the Humanities. This awardee is an interdisciplinary performance artist from Fairbanks who has close ties to Kaktovik. She's performed across the state and across the globe. We asked her what inanimate object she's most in love with, and she picked two, which was against the rules, but I'll tell you both of them. She said she just moved into a new place recently in Anchorage, so she mentioned furniture. My vintage brass and glass coffee table, and my lime green velvet 1940s sectional couch. If you could have an affair with a piece of literature, right now I would have an affair with the brand new Inupiaq dictionary. It has a lot of words in it that the older version didn't have, and a section on grammar. But her favorite quotation is from Timothy Leary. You can be anything you want to be this time around. The Governor's Award for the Distinguished Service to the Humanities goes to Allison Akachuk Warden.
Adiga tautu kapkipsi uvanga akuchuk matumeak panikpak taipana adiga kuyanak. You know, winning a governor's award is a really big deal. I didn't realize, I mean, I'm just so thankful, and I just want to acknowledge all the people out there who don't have this opportunity to be recognized for all their work that they do in the arts. It's just so humbling to be here right now. And I just think of someone who's inspired you in the arts, all of you out there. And maybe it's an uncle, like I have an uncle who was a carver, and someone who encouraged you to think about the arts. I just honor them also tonight, because it's an honor that a lot of people won't have the opportunity to have. And I accept on behalf of all of the ones out there who might not have this chance to be here. I really am thankful for my mom. She's here. She's always allowed me to be. She raised me to be a Inupiaq. And I have two moms in the audience. I have my ma, Della Chini, who adopted me, and to the Tlingit Haida family, and I'm doubly blessed. It's such an honor to be part of your family also, and my greatest honor I've had to be adopted into the family. So thank you both. I'd also like to thank January Scott for nominating me. She cares about youth just as much as I do, and it's been so affirming to meet someone who really is passionate about the young people out there. I'd like to acknowledge my ancestors for being with us in all that we do and everything that we are, and for their presence with us, encouraging us to speak our languages and to create art. I'd like to thank Bruce Farnsworth. He's one of the first people who supported me when I was just starting to make art in Anchorage. And I'd like to thank Julie Decker, who's supporting me in my next work at the museum. I'd like to thank the Rasmussen Foundation for existing. We're so lucky. You know, I travel all over and I talk about the Rasmussen Foundation, and other states aren't as lucky as we are, and thank you for supporting the arts and for being here. And I'd like to acknowledge my uncle, Representative Benjamin Nakayak, for being here. It's been fun to have you. Hi, Uncle. I love you. And I'd like, lastly, thank all of my peers. My peers push me to do the work, to keep on my game, and to make art that will inspire them and encourage them. And to the youth, I'm not sure if I said that yet, but the biggest thanks I'd like to give is to the young people out there, and to encourage you. You can do it. You can create. You can use your voice in an interesting way. I believe in you guys. So thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Allison. And other awardees. Congratulations again, Allison, and to all of our awardees. Let's give them a big, huge hand. Yes, awesome. We're going to get to admire them here as they take a final group photo as we conclude our event. I want to thank you for coming, and on behalf of the Office of Governor Bill Walker, on behalf of the Alaska Humanities Forum, and on behalf of the Alaska State Council on the Arts, thank you for being here for the 2015 Governor's Awards for the Arts and Humanities. There is one more performance event tonight after our group photo for these amazing awardees. What a wonderful group of humans and artists. Thank you. Look at these beautiful people. Governor and First Lady Walker, will you join for a photo as well? We're going to invite the Governor and the First Ladies to join as well. If I had it in front of me, this would be the great moment to tell you all the other pieces of literature that these guys are having affairs with. But I don't have it. I wasn't ready for this moment. Our final event tonight for the 2015 Governor's Awards for the Arts and Humanities is the Anchorage-based interdisciplinary music group here on this side of the stage, Yada D. Thank you. Thanks for coming tonight. Have a great night.
Travel there with me. Oh, here we go, lifted so gently. Let us go, let us journey. You will see. ocean deep. Here we go, you're not asleep. Down into the village of the seal, they show us so much on the ocean, on the floor. We're at a village, we say no more. Houses and houses and houses of the seal. They are people, they are We see the house of the chief. We go inside, we feel relief. We see the motion, we understand. He's asked us here to speak of the Do you remember? Do you remember the long, 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 long ago? Here we go, now we dance. Yes, we are in a seal trance. Here we open into our dreams. Remember us, remember the seal, remember when you have your next meal. Remember our ocean, remember our names, remember our village. Oh, it's changing. Remember the deepest dream. Remember the seal sea. Remember, awaken and know the seals love you. They ask you to go. Visit deeply, densely, waiting. Night, here we open. Yada da 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 dee. Here we are at the governor's wards. Yes, you see. Yada da 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 day. Everybody had such a good time yesterday. Yada da 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 do. This is how we celebrate all the artists. It's true. Yada da 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 dee. Now everybody unravel completely. Yes,
Yes, you do, you know, this is how you manifest a Yada D show. Ha ha ha. First you have to feel it in your heart like it's really real. Hey, hey. Just like now you see, this is how you manifested your own Yada D. Younga nunga nunga yeah, younga hunga ninga nunga nunga younga nunga hi. This is how we do, this is how we celebrate like a whaling crew. This is how we do move. Everybody feel the Yada D groove. Younga na nunga night, younga ninga hunga nunga not nunga younga nunga night nunga huh. Younga hey Yada da 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 D. This is how we celebrate our community. Yada dee da da day. Thank you, Governor Walker, for your presence today. Yada da 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 do. Thank you to the First Lady. Also, we love you. Yada da 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 day. This is how we celebrate in a good way. Just felt it in our heart, felt it as a beginning, yes, it was the start. Oh, do you see? You can manifest everything that you want to eat. You just got to feel it in your heart like it's really real. Yes, yes, you know, we manifested such a great governor, yo. Yes, yes, you see, and now the whole state is happy, the whole state is happy. Yada na 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 na. This is how we manifest things every single day. Yada da 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 day. This is what we do in a Yada D kind of way. Ayanga na 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 na. Ninga na na ninga na na hot na na hinga na na hey. Ayanga na 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 na. Yes, feel it in your heart. Yes, feel it hey. Oh, yanga ninga na 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 hot na na hinga ninga na 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 yanga na 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 hey. Yada da 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 dee. Everybody's feeling so good now, release completely. Yada da 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 day. This is how we go forward in a good way. Yada da 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 dee. Our ancestors loving us completely. Yada da 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 dee. This is how we move. Yes, yes, you see. Ooh. Hey. Thank you. We are Yada D. Aaron Leggett helped to name our band, so thank you for. It's a Denina word for what is this? Yo, don't go yet. Should we sing some more or no? Whoop whoop. She wants to do bear. Oh, okay. Ha! Hoo! Ha! Hoo! Ha! Hoo! Ha! I'm swimming in the ocean, swimming for days and days. Swimming, I don't understand, it feels I'm in a maze. I'm swimming, and I don't know when I will see the edge of the town, my new community. Ha! Wait, wait there. Ha! Wait, wait there. Ha! Wait.